Yes. Cheers, sir. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
I'm still of the Alice.
It's important. You know?
Still not over Last of the Old Dogs.
Thank you.
I know it's been like, I don't know, 6 months now.
Yeah.
But it's just an album that just keeps getting better every listen, man.
Thank you, man. That was a real treat for me, and I love how they just set the mood for us right now. That was perfect. That record meant a lot to me, and I'm realizing, like, slowly but surely how much it meant to other people, especially when I travel and I've been doing shows, and I'm starting to see, I call them like repeat customers, or I sometimes call them repeat offenders, where it's like somebody will come up and they'll just tell me how much The Fire or Last of the Old Dogs meant, or something from that record. They're like, man, this changed how I felt in this period of time.
Yeah.
I had 2 ladies come up to me in Florida recently who I've never met, and they just shared their stories. And then I had some people right after them come up, show me pictures from me and them 2 years ago when I first really went down to Florida to open up for Billy Currington. And, starting to see that connection between the music and people has been really important. Something I never really thought I'd get a second chance of doing for myself. So I'm kind of soaking in all those experiences.
So, dude,
pretty heavy.
You love every time I see you break new stages, new ground. So that's great, man.
I appreciate it.
So we're celebrating Fire Country, season 3. That collaboration come about, man?
It was interesting. My publisher called me with just basically a brief, and they were like, hey, here's this show. And I had heard of the show. I never watched it before then. And they said, watch the show, see if you like it, and we have a brief for a song for the show. So basically writing for the show. And I watched a couple episodes, thought it was pretty great. And, they gave me the scene, gave me like pretty much what it was. They wouldn't let me watch it, but they were like, here's what's happening. I wrote with a friend out on Zoom, actually in, where is he? In Minneapolis, Danny Burke. And we got on the computer and wrote the song. I recorded the guitar and the vocal in my living room.
Yeah.
Sent it to him. He built the track, asked me for a couple of overdubs, and then we handed it in. I want to say it wasn't very much longer, like a month after.
Was that an easier process than normal? Like knowing that there's like something that you have to...
Yeah, kind of working for. Because writing for TV is interesting. It's like you get a brief. It's almost like being a graphic designer. Like, hey, here's what we need. Here's what we need it to feel like and look like and sound like. Make that. And you're like, all right. And you try to do it with also having it have some kind of message. So we had this song called Here Again. I think it was last season. And it just fit. Like, I remember watching the show and where it was a scene about the main character kind of falling into an old habit.
Yeah.
And that was, it just fit. It
for
fit.
you, because you sing about like...
I sing about shitty habits. Yeah. No, but it was easy to write because it was like, all right, here's the topic, but we don't want it to say this. All right, so we find something that says that without saying the thing. And then I'm like, all right, well, what life experience have I had where for TV it's always be a little more broad?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it still needs to say something.
Right.
So when they said that they were going to use it, it was pretty cool. It actually came out the week after the record Last of the Old Dogs came out. Okay. So the record came out, and then the following weekend, this show came on Friday. Song came out that day. So it was just kind of like a double pack punch of like, hey, let's just have you put out more music. So it was really cool to be part of. And, I still write with Danny. We write for the show.
Did you get to see the scene already? Did you get to see it already?
Yeah, so that song was from last season.
Last season. Okay. How was that feeling like?
It was awesome, man. It was funny because my parents were watching up in New Jersey, and they streamed television, and their internet went out for the minute. And I'm not kidding, like, downbeat of the song to when it ended. Okay. Their internet cut out. And my mother was like, wait, did it happen? I said, Mom, how did you miss it? And she goes, our internet just went out. She's like, do you mean it went out when your song was on? I was like, basically the whole time. Wow. So she had to wait till the next morning, stream the show again. Okay. And she just fast forward till that minute. But yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It's cool seeing your work displayed on a national network and having that kind of thing to kind of, rest your hat on.
Right on, dude.
Hey,
listen, I know you got a lot going on, so let me leave you with this, Matt.
Please.
There's been, since we've been friends or whatever, it's been like 3-4 years, man. Now, there's been like you see so many changes in the music industry. Yeah. People get dropped, labels get this, happening this.
It's ruthless.
And it is ruthless. Yeah. But you are like Rocky, man.
I'm just trucking.
Exactly.
I'm just trucking, dude.
And I'm like, okay, for using that word, how do you keep on trucking? Like, what's your mindset? What's your
right here now?
How to keep the art alive, the under the
The hunger's always there. I've said this to other people before. I'm like, if this isn't the only thing if you go to bed and you wake up and it's the only thing you think of, it's the only thing you're going to do. There was a guitar player who was filling in for me, and I said, man, if you're still doing this after 30, this is your career. And he goes, man, I never thought about it like that. I said, buddy, after 30, I realized this ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So once I put it in my head that and I've always said it to myself, don't give yourself a plan B, because then you always have that safety net when you're on the high wire. If you are there and you realize you fall and hit the ground, or you survive and walk the line, you're going to do everything you can to survive and walk the line. For me, I feel like with the business and how it is, there's always things that you dislike. There's always things that you see and you go, man, I hope that doesn't happen to me. I hope it doesn't happen to a friend of mine. Right. But at the end of the day, I kind of feel like it's with anything. The most you put into it is the most you'll get out of it, even on the shitty days. Yeah. I have days where I get bad news. I have days where I'm like, why didn't that happen for me? I start doing the comparison game, and then I have to really step back and I go, man, you're 36 and you get to do this.
Right.
What do you have to bitch about?
Change your expectation.
Yeah, change your expectation. Yeah, if I don't have the expectation and I don't put the pressure on it, I'm never going to be let down. Right. I'm always going to look at everything as, man, how lucky are you that you get to do this? With still keeping in mind, here's the goal I set for myself, and I'd rather take the small steps to get there than be disappointed if that large step doesn't happen. And if I get kicked down a notch or two, all right, that's fine. I'm not going to stop. My grandmother's 95 years old, and I had a day where I was really down about it. And, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm broke. I'm broke again. How did I get broke again? And it was just one of those days where you're like, is it worth it? And then my grandmother said something so poignant. She goes, well, you ain't going to quit. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, talk about the biggest waste of your time if you quit. And I just went, shit, she's right. I mean, I would never think of quitting, but even on your darkest day of having it, you're not going to quit. So it's just get over it and move forward. Because if you quit, then you've spent 36 years of your life to just waste your time. Mm. Or, even if you're 24, you've wasted 24 years of your life. You could have been doing anything else. Right. But you've decided this was your thing. And most people, I think the thing that separates people who have success, and not that I have any knowledge of how this works, but I think is that are you capable of moving through the hard days? Right. If you are, you'll see some kind of success. It might not be Madison Square Garden, but you'll have success just because you don't let go and you don't let up. So I feel like that is the thing that usually for me is and we came back out. Yeah.
The figures, the date's not.
Yeah, the thing, that's it. Yeah. They're like, all right, time to get up, drink them up, let's go. But yeah, I feel like that's that was always the thing for me when I thought of either just being a writer, playing for other people. We, obviously friends like Bree. I think it's been one of those things where if I put in my mind that it's not going to work, then I would have just wasted my time. But if every day I wake up and I go, all right, man, it's tough. It sucks. Some days you're on top of the world and the next day you're in the valley. But as somebody had also said, man, if you don't have the valley, you don't know what a peak looks like. And I went,
that's nice.
Okay, cool. So I just kind of remind myself of that. If I'm in a valley at some point, there will be a peak and I'll feel good about it. And, that's fun.
So grateful that you're spreading those messages.
Well, thanks, man.
Everything, man.
Again, it's really this. It's all this. Good to see you too, man.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.